Look who I have.
You got the creepiest smile ever. Hi.
What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks, and we are here. I have my YouTube bestie. I have Roxiie Says, and we're gonna
Hey,
talk about it.
y'all. And we're going to talk about it, okay?
All
We're
right,
going to
y'all.
talk about all the things.
Everything that has happened on this godforsaken show. So before we get started, let's come on and say hello to a couple of the folks.
Yes.
Monique,
Hey, everyone.
what happened to your mod thing, Monique? Hold on. What happened? Who done
Hey,
unmodded Monique?
y'all.
All right, so we have Lav Light. Rose Boogie said, I'm sick of the cast. We sick of them too.
Right.
We have Jen. We have Jess Al H. Tiffany. Oh, if you are in Wisconsin, if you're in line to vote, don't get out of line. They are playing with the ballots right now, and they're saying they're out of ballots. They are not. It's all over the news. Stay y'all asses in line. They are playing. If you're in line, the polls are open for another 15 minutes, and you can stay in line until you get your ballot. Don't get out of line. Can't have nothing. Hey, Erica. We have Mo. We have Roxie. We have Tori. We have Trey. We have Miss Honey. Make sure you guys are all hitting the like button. Make sure you guys are all subscribed to Roxie's channel if you are not.
Let me hit like. I didn't even like it.
Wow. It be your own
My bad.
people. Jeez. Lady Lay. Roxie's getting shout outs.
Hey,
Hey from
everyone.
Orlando, Florida. Monique, I gotta get your mod thing back. Hold on real quick. So what did you guys think of the season? Let's start right here. Roxie, this was your first season doing
This was
Married
my
at First
very
Sight.
and watching, because I tried to watch, was it Denver last season?
Yeah.
Couldn't finish the first episode. I couldn't even finish it. And y'all were talking like, "Oh my god, I love it." I'm like, this is what it is. I can't do it. But this season was very good. I was very entertained. Okay, we got the drama, we got the mess. We got some love. I enjoyed it. I had a
So,
good time.
so will you be back? That's the real question.
I will be. What's next? Isn't it? They're in like Austin, Texas next
They're in
season?
Austin. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back. I had fun reviewing it. Y'all comments are crazy, hilarious. We had a good time, even though, we bumped heads in the comments every now and then about a certain situation that we're gonna talk about. I had a great time reviewing Married at First Sight. A great, great time.
You bumped heads in the comments? Really? That happens?
Yeah,
What?
sometimes,
What?
every now and then.
I
Every
have
now and then.
never had somebody bump heads with me in the comments. What is going
Child.
on?
The way they be cutting up in your comments, I don't know.
What is
They be
going
cutting
on
up.
I actually didn't have I didn't have a rough time this season. There were a few people that are just very in support of what's her face? Madison and them, and I'm just not, and I feel like that's okay.
I
'Cause
mean, Madison did say that was it her grandma? She said her grandma was in the comments cussing people out. So maybe that was her grandma in a couple of comments
wait,
who was like
what? Are you
getting us
serious?
together. Yeah, in the reunion, didn't she say that? She said that she had to tell her dad's mom, like, grandma, stop arguing with people, like which I think is adorable. She's only doing what her grandma is supposed to do, but maybe that's who we was tussling with in the comment section for a couple of reviews.
Cause I done got somebody's grandma together. That's okay. That's cool. I'm okay with it. Hey, Erica. Hey, Alyssa. So, if you had to rate this season on the scale of 1 to 10, What would you give it?
Oh, I would I would give it a nice little I'll give it a 7 because I feel no, I'll give it an 8 because
Okay.
I feel like I don't have anything to like compare it to. Like y'all in the group chat have told me about previous seasons, and I already heard about that Chris and Paige season that I never even watched, but I heard all about it. And the hurricane someone season, and y'all sent me clips, right? So I know that the show gets it's a lot, but I have nothing to compare it to. But I enjoyed it. So I'll give it a nice little what I said, 8, 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5.
7.5. Y'all put in the comments, what do y'all think about this season?
What
Herica
do you
said a
give it?
7. I give it like a okay, let me think.
And you've seen all the other seasons, right? Or majority of the other seasons.
Yeah, I started season 10. Well, I've seen 8, then I went to 10, and then I continued on. I'll give it a 7.5. I would have
Okay,
given
see?
it a 9 if they wouldn't have
Yes.
teased that there was the cheating situation.
Can you imagine if we didn't know
If they would have let
before?
us stumble on it, because imagine the
Ooh.
shock, the horror, if we wouldn't have known that it was Madison.
Yes.
That would have
Yes.
been what a time.
Because since we already knew, like I was already watching David and Madison from when they were in the gym together that first time. I was like, that's who it's going to be because we already knew. If we didn't know,
Yeah.
then maybe we wouldn't have been watching them as closely. And
Mhm.
yeah, that would have been real good TV. It would have blew up even more.
It would have. But
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
too much gets teased.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, T Fran.
Both the Audrey and Mass season. Oh, hi. Thank you, T Fran.
What lipstick brands do I typically wear? The Lip Bar, I do NARS, and I do Urban Decay.
Right now, she's wearing the lip bar in color Muse.
The fact that you Oh, that's because you have it, right? This is Muse.
That's Muse. Okay. Go get it at your local. Buy it on the lip bar's website.
Buy it on the Lip Bar's website.
Yeah.
Jen, Tihu. Hey, Shayna.
Hey, Shayna.
Okay, look,
Ooh.
y'all be putting this in my comments, and this isn't directed towards you, Amy, but I promise y'all, I'm never gonna watch Australia or UK. I'm never gonna watch it. I don't have it in me. Plus, it comes on
E-
every day.
Oh, yeah. That's E.
Queen E is
That's
gonna recap
E.
those. She got y'all covered. So the
She got
consensus
y'all
is
covered.
a 7 and a 8 for the season. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
That's
not
pretty
bad.
good.
What was your favorite season out of the seasons that you've seen thus far?
I'm gonna say 12. Only is it 12? Which one was the New Orleans season, y'all? Was that 11, 12? That one, they got stuck with each other because of COVID. So they were stuck
Ooh.
living with each other. I want to say for like an extra month and a half, maybe 2 months.
Ooh. I like
But
that though.
we got Woody and Amani out of there. They're like, to me at least, they're like the Cam and Lauren of Married at First Sight.
Oh, really?
They are
Oh,
adorable.
bless their heart.
They're still married. They have 2
I
kids
love that.
together. Like they really, and he
I
was
love
somebody that we
that.
didn't think it was gonna work because his
Yeah.
package was that he was in the streets. He lived at home with his grandma. Like Woody kind of had everything against him, but he
Mhm.
flourished.
Oh, so maybe that could be David and Madison's
It
story.
I feel like you're trying to set me up this early, but it could have been. It could have been
It's possible. It's possible.
anything somebody gave. Uh-oh. David and Madison grossed you out. Lord have mercy. All right,
I
y'all ready?
mean, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say y'all ready to go ahead. No, you go ahead. 'Cause we can't start when
I
I
was
say
gonna
no.
say a majority of their scenes I would put on a 2.5 after the whole after that whole showdown happened when they were at Juan's little place in the boxing ring and Madison was talking about who she could fight and stuff. After that, I was like, okay, y'all gonna be on 2.5 because I just can't. Because why were they getting so many scenes? Anyway, we'll get to it.
They should not have been rewarded with scenes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, V said, why don't people talk about Michaela's husband and the Asian chick? What are we supposed to talk about?
Who's that?
Zach and was it Bao? He cheated on Bao. That was the first time I ever went live when all that drama came out. Yeah, people talked about them. People talked about them. But y'all ready to get into the show? Roxie, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, let me get this up off of here. So first step, married at first sight. All right. Because I forgot to do that. So I wanted y'all to see what I made. All right,
Look
y'all,
what
we're
I
going to start
did.
with Tom and Camille. You gave it to Camille all season.
Listen, okay. Camille, listen. The reason why I was going in on Camille, I like Camille. Okay. I think Camille is beautiful, but she had so many critiques for Tom and his attire and his swag. And I felt like they were right here. Like y'all were right here. So I didn't understand why she had all of these suggestions for Tom. And I'm like, girl, I mean, like, y'all right here. So that's what would irritate me about Camille, because she's like, you need to wear this, you need to just. I'm like, Miss Moo Moo, if you watch my videos, you already know. If I had the sound effect right now, that moo would be moo with her Moo Moo dresses, every color. They're doing like a sexy time night, and she got on a Foot Locker t-shirt. Like, listen, Camille, I like Camille, but she had too many critiques, in my opinion. Okay, so I just gave it to her just a little bit. Beautiful
She did
girl.
have on the Foot Locker shirt. Tori said her outfits were from Shein. Now, we don't discriminate against Shein.
This is Shein.
This is Shein. We don't discriminate.
We don't discriminate.
Against it.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a specific brand or label, right? But it just seemed like she had the same dress in every color.
She
That's all.
lived for a two-piece. An oversized t-shirt and some little spandex shorts, pants, whatever. That was her zhuzh, which is fine. But I feel like if that's what you're wearing on the daily, then Swaggy T does not have to wear Jordans.
Right. And you know how I am. I don't speak about people's looks or anything like that unless you speak about somebody else. Then I'm gonna say some things, okay? And I just felt like she was so critical of Tom, and it was like after episode 5, I was like, okay, girl, no, like now you taking it too far. And I don't even like love Tom like that either. But every episode, she's like, oh, you need some Jordans. Oh, you not like, I need you to have more swag. It's like, girl, you don't have swag either. Y'all are two peas in a pod.
But they went to the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And she spent a bag real quick and turned him into real quick. She turned him into it real quick. He had a chain, he had earrings. From that scene forward, he kept a pair of Jordans on his feet, and not bad ones. He
did.
I didn't see any mids, so he had some decent Jordans moving forward. Because I clocked shoes, so I was pleasantly surprised with Tom.
There was an after party episode, and he looked nice. I said it like 3 times. He looked really nice, and he had on some Jordans, and I was like, oh, I know Tammy gonna like peep these. I know she know the number and everything. I'm like, I don't know the number, but I know they Jordans. Okay, I'm like, Camille got him together.
Those were the blue low top Jordan 11s. I remember because I was gonna get them, and I said, I have enough.
Right, and she has a lot.
I have shoes coming tomorrow in the mail, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. PJ said she was giving Coles, not Coles.
I feel like what you can find what Camille was wearing in a plethora of stores. It's not about the store, it's not about the brand. It's just about I just feel like she didn't have the swag that she was asking Tom for, you know? That's all.
That's true. Rose said her hair was always cute at least, which is true.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, Camille I think Camille is beautiful. I think Camille is beautiful. And I think she's a nice person. She means well, you know. It's like, girl, after a couple episodes, you like hounding on Tom for his I was like, girl, I seen you wear this muumuu dress in like purple 2 episodes ago, and now you got it in pink, and then 2 episodes later you got it in green. Like, come on now. So I was like, okay, I'm over Camille with that in that aspect. But other than that, Camille is cool. And also I will say though, because it's the same thing that happened even with Allan, right? You'll see, you know, men and women, they'll get into a relationship and the woman will make some suggestions on his style
Yeah,
or whatever, and it helps. It helps because Tom does look better, right?
he
And even
does.
the suggestions that Madison had made to Allan when she took him shopping, he looked nice in the
Hmm.
clothes that she picked out for him. So, you know, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. So, but I was waiting for Tom to make some suggestions, but he never did. So, I guess he's happy.
Well, someone said
That's all that
that
matters.
she needs the black husband effect.
Oh, is I haven't seen that trend. I saw the black wife effect. But aren't child, she needs something. But look, all that matters is that Tom likes it, right? Who are we?
Does he like it?
Now
Does
that's
he?
another conversation. All right, so off of Camille's her attire,
Uh,
okay?
I
How
would
do you
think that he's a Tam Junior because I got more shoes than he showed, and I
and sh-
got
what you was about to say?
better shoes. I got better shoes than he showed, but it's subjective.
Yeah, Devin would definitely be the junior in that situation.
You know, she
Yeah.
look. I go to Marshalls too, y'all. It's not. It's not.
It's not this y'all are bad. I love me some Marshalls too.
Hey, Tamara, it's about having style. Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
That's what it's about.
You can have expensive stuff. It can be super labeled up and you will still look bad.
A mess. Yeah.
You can
Exactly.
still look
That's
bad.
what it is. That's what it is. Thank you, Tamara or Tamara, because
I'm gonna always say it's Tamara just because I'm biased.
she think that's the only way to pronounce
It's
her
the only
name.
way.
That name.
It's the right way to pronounce it. So, one thing that we talked about when we did this the first time, the halfway mark, was Camille trying to blacken Tom up.
Yeah.
And it seems like she just suddenly dropped it. Suddenly dropped it. Like we haven't heard anything about
Mhm.
her wanting to boombaye or anything the second half of the season.
I feel like it came a lot. She kind of fell back after they had that meetup with her sister, and like her sister kind of enlightened the both of them, which I feel it was interesting because Camille kept saying like, I don't want you to feel like it's a deal breaker, but sis, the way you were speaking about it, it seemed like it was a deal breaker, especially because she said, let's keep it a buck. Camille had one idea of what a black man is supposed to be, right? He's
Yes.
supposed to be like her exes. He's supposed to come like what's good, shorty, you know, like that's what she wanted, or I guess that's what she expected for Tom to be, or that's what she expects for every black man to be like, and that's not what it is. So because Tom wasn't like that, she was like she had a problem with everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I found that to be a bit ridiculous. It's like, girl, where are you from? Like you haven't seen a variety of black men? Like everyone is not the same. Just
And
like
by
every
her
black woman is not the same.
being in Chicago, I'm shocked that she even felt that way. So do
Yeah.
you think it was a way for her to try to get out of time? And then she finally was like, I mean, we here now. Because she dropped it so quickly. I feel like the way Camille
Mm.
was going on and on and on about it, for her to just like that one conversation with her sister, and now it's just, okay, he likes to go to, I guess, white bars. He likes to do this. He likes to do that. All of a sudden, his blackness or lack thereof is suddenly perfectly fine with her.
Maybe it was when she went to his apartment and she saw that he had like 2 pair of Jordans. Maybe that like calmed her nerves a little bit and she was like, "Okay, maybe I could work with this.
That was enough.
I could work." That
That
was
was.
enough. She
Mm.
she saw the shoe boxes and she was like, "Okay, okay, we could do something with this." And then she took him to the jewelry store, put an earring in his ear and gave him a chain, and child, that it was a done deal from there.
Can we
But she
talk
always
about?
she
Can we talk
Go
about how
ahead.
problematic that is, though?
We can't.
Because, like, let's be real.
Mhm.
That is so problematic for
Yeah.
her to think that having on a chain, diamonds, rhinestones, Swarovskis, whatever, makes him blacker.
And it still shows even though she says it's not, that she still has a vision of what a black man is, right? She's suppressing it because of Tom, right? She can't keep harping on that because that's not Tom doesn't fit her vision, so she had to fall back on it. But she still has like one vision of what he should be or what he's supposed to be.
So do we
But she's
think
grown
it's
to love
gonna?
him, it appears.
You said what?
I said, but she's grown to love him though. But we'll talk about that too.
Do we think that that would come back up? Because I do. I just feel like that it was such a glaring issue. I don't think that it's gonna just all of a sudden it's gone. Because let's say that they go to, I don't know, a Juneteenth Day parade. How does he behave during Black History Month? How does she behave during Black History Month? Does she now
Right.
Erica Badu it up because it's Black History Month? Because Camille gives me that she puts on a dashiki
Mhm.
and she goes to like a cultural fest.
I can see that too. I can see her crashing out if like Tom doesn't know how to do the electric slide. Like I can see so many things. I can definitely see where that will come up again. And it can also be, right? As we all know, these shows are edited and produced. We know. It can also be that that was a storyline that was played up in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So, by the time they got to the middle of the season, they were like, okay, we're on to something else. Because honestly, by the time we got to the mid range of the season, isn't that when things started like brewing between David and Madison? So maybe Camille and Tom, their issues like weren't a big deal anymore or whatever, I think. Or was that further like towards the end?
I think production knew that it had that the time that the Madison and David thing had started. And
Oh
they
yeah.
probably started to like
Hmm.
redirect.
Yeah. They definitely knew for sure.
Angelique said, I feel it was overlooked because of David being so specific with blondes. Oh, we are going to talk about that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's
Michelle, she had specific requests as well, so
she did. She
Mhm.
it's more than a
Mhm.
preference, y'all. Erica said that it's very problematic. Imagine if this was a white woman doing this to a black man.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Very true. Yikes. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. Very, very true.
Right.
So, Tom is 42. She's 32.
Mhm.
He's ready for a baby because that biological clock that people don't think that men have, but they do. His
Mhm.
biological clock is ticking.
Right.
Do they stay together?
The way that Tom was acting in that "Where Are They Now" episode, I don't see it. I was so confident in Tom and Camille after the reunion. I was like, "Okay, we got a couple out of this." But after the "Where Are They Now" and those family planning conversations, and Tom's twin pissing me off, telling Camille, "Oh, you have forever to figure out your career. You don't have forever to have a baby." You don't think she know that? Like, when he said that, I got so irritated because he was speaking to her as if this isn't something that she's thought about on her own, like, "Remember." I was like, "Boy, like, this is a grown woman you're speaking to. You don't think that she's taking all of that into consideration?" But I feel like the way that when they were at the dinner table and Tom was saying, "It's important that Camille, moves far in her career and she feels solidified in her job and this and the third before we start speaking about a baby." But when he was with his brother, it seemed like the vibe was different. He was saying, "I don't know if I can say that that I'm, like, in love with her. I don't know if I can say." It feels like a more general love as opposed to a romantic love, and I was like, "Ooh, that don't sound good." Not at all.
No, and I was trying to give like the benefit of the doubt because it was non-traditional, right? So he didn't get to go through all those emotions, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like keep it to yourself because imagine how Camille feels looking
Watching that.
back at this and
Yeah.
she's inside thinking that everything is cool and then you outside being like, "Yeah, I don't really like her for real."
'Cause that's what it's giving. That's what it was giving. I was like, "Oh my god, Tom, like, the cameras are still there. I know y'all stepped outside, they got cameras outside too." He was just that's pretty much how it seemed, like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, she cool, but, like, I don't really feel it." Like, he had said one other thing too, and I was like, "Oh, Tom." But remember, Tom was with his ex for 9 years and didn't marry her and cheated on her, right? And Tom was also the person who said the reason why he did Married at First Sight was so that he would just have to get married and he can't think about it. He can't take any time to, decide. He's just gonna be thrusted into this marriage. Um, and I feel like because he was thrusted into it and he probably thought, "Okay, I don't have the time to think about it." Now he's thinking about it. And someone else in my comments had said, um, that Tom must have watched the show back and he saw that, Camille isn't fully into him as he probably thought she was. I mean, it can be so many things, but I just based on the vibe that I got, in the Where Are They Now episode, I don't know how long they're gonna last. I'm not wishing them, bad. Hopefully, they stay together if that's what's best for the both of them, but the vibe was just off to me.
No, I'm not wishing them bad, but I think that I don't think they'll stay together for one. I think they're in 2
You didn't
different
even think they would
places.
be together at the reunion,
No,
right?
I didn't.
Right. You're right.
I I did not. And so for it to be a year later and for him to still feel that way, but I mean, if he wants a baby, he wants a baby.
Mhm.
And I mean, either she's going to give him one or she's not. But if she's trying to become a real estate mogul, which is you working for yourself, entrepreneurship, that's going to take some time to build up. And I don't get
Yep.
the vibe that she's just going to go on down to um what is it called? Shore West or whatever. She's not going to the local realtor to start selling houses that are a couple 100,000. She wants to
Mhm.
sell some stuff. It's going to
Mhm.
take time to build that up. I wonder if they had a real in-depth conversation though about him cheating on his last relationship because if they did, we didn't see it. And I think that's a missed opportunity. He told her bridesmaids, told her homegirls, but we didn't see him tell her because we saw her mention it. But what did y'all talk
Did
about? When did
she
y'all talk about it?
did she mention it or did he mention it at that little game that they played at the retreat? 'Cause I
She
don't remember them go on.
she mentioned it in like a confessional or something where she was saying, how did she know that since it was something, how did she phrase it? It was like, how does she know that he's gonna take it serious if he was with somebody for 9 years or X amount of years? It was after like their last dinner.
That part I know, but I don't know I didn't know if it was I didn't remember her mentioning the cheating part. Thank you, Trey, for the super chat.
Thanks, Trey. You can tell
Trey.
Camille was used to F boys. Yes. That's too
Yeah,
bad. I hate that for her.
yeah, she was.
She's too old for that, to be real.
But yeah, I found it very strange that at the wedding, um, Tom did like you said, Tom didn't tell Camille that he cheated on his ex, but as soon as he was with her friends, he was like, "Yeah, I cheated," and they were all like, "Whoa," and I wanted to see that conversation too. Like I remember saying that, like I wanted to see him tell that to Camille, and I wanted to see how she reacted to it, but we never got that. And then for him to make a joke about it when they were at the retreat, remember when they were playing that game or whatever, who would be the one to get caught cheating or who would be, I can't even remember the question. But Tom said himself, and Camille was like, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just saying because I can't tell a lie or whatever." I don't know.
That would have pissed me off because,
Yeah.
for one, don't do that. Don't do that. You're supposed to pick
Yeah.
somebody else. Whether you think it's you just telling a funny or whatever, I don't like that. Don't do that. Cause especially when you have a history of cheating.
Right. Yeah.
But mm, see, I
And
feel like Camille had too much energy for other people. She didn't have the right energy
mhm.
for the right people.
Mhm.
But she also gives me bird tendencies because she's double dating it up with Madison too. So
They are besties. They
they
are
are,
besties. And
which
even at the reunion, I remember specifically Kevin asking Camille, "Did Madison break girl code?" And she did not answer. She was like, "Well, I was in a tough situation because I'm friends with everyone and I want everyone to be happy." Girl, did Madison break girl code or not? Whether the answer is yes or no, answer the question. But that's Madison's her girl, and David and Tom are really cool too. So
but I feel like if you can be friends with people and be honest.
yes, you
Because
can.
if that is one of my friends, did you break girl code? Hell yeah, you did, girl. What
Yes,
is wrong
girl.
with you? I mean, be
Right.
happy, but like,
Like,
WTF?
like, girl, you fucked up, right? Like, a real friend should be able to tell their friend that, or like, y'all not friends.
So then when she start
So
creeping with Tom, she shouldn't have no problem. It's not girl code, right? Because we now know that Madison is okay with the light skins. As long as you look a little racially ambiguous, she's okay with you. So,
Madison said, "For Dave, I'll make an exception." She made an exception. All
um,
right.
did y'all have anything else? Girl code? No, girl code is for women. Girl code is for women. I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay, I'm gonna
Call it women code. Either way, there's a code.
I'm gonna
There's a
assume that
code.
you don't have girl code. I don't know, little Eva.
Oh, Eva
Um,
said, I don't do girl code. Okay. That was in high school. Okay. I
she
do
said
what I want to do now.
after
She said,
after
"Fuck
girl
y'all."
code.
Right? She said, "F all of y'all." Okay. Well, Eva ain't playing with y'all. She don't care about y'all.
I side eye Camille for being buddy with Maddie. Go along, get along, gang.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. Disgusting. All right,
Oh,
but
what I was gonna say, I was gonna say with Tom and Camille, I do feel I for some reason I don't think that Camille wants a kid. She keeps saying 1 to 2 years, but she doesn't even sound like sure about that, which is fine. But if she's telling Tom 1 to 2 years, and Tom also gets the feeling like I don't think she's sure about it, or I think that she's just saying 1 to 2 years to pacify me for now. And then when the 2 year mark hits, it's gonna be something else. I can also understand Tom like wanting to take a step back. But if that's the case, like communicate about that because it really does seem like Tom is in front of Camille. He's like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And then when he's around other people, he's probably telling them how he really feels about the situation, especially the family planning situation. So
yeah, he's
yeah.
not being honest about it. That's
And I don't think she's being honest about it either. I don't think she's being honest about it either. I
but
don't. I
But she
don't.
said that she feels that she was put on earth to be a mother. That was her, right? No? Or is that
Yeah,
MM?
but that don't
Oh.
mean in 1 or 2 years. But yeah, she did say that. She did say that, but
I mean, but she's
I don't know.
32. Yeah, I mean. So, if we're gonna grade Tom and Camille, what would you give them?
Like, grade them on what?
I don't know. It's in my head.
Like, okay, grade them. I
Okay.
think we can go ahead.
I was gonna say individually, if you were to grade them on who you think. Damn, I had it in my head. I lost it because I'm looking at these comments. Um,
I will say, I think that Tom and Camille, um had the most growth as a couple, right? They might not be perfect, but I feel like as a couple, we saw them work through conflicts, right? With the race thing, with the swag thing. I feel like I like how they communicated, even though right now their communication seems like they're kind of lying. But during the season, I did like how they communicated with each other. They were very calm, right? They weren't
yeah.
you can tell that when they would speak to each other, even if they were in a disagreement, they weren't trying to hurt each other's feelings. They were trying to at least acknowledge the other person's feelings. So to rate them, like, I guess, in terms of all of the couples, in that sense, I will give Tom and Camille like the number one gold star in a sense of how much they grew during the season and how they communicated when they were in conflict out of
What do
all the
you,
couples.
what do you rate her outfit at the reunion in terms of the season?
Well, I don't even remember what she had on. I do remember complimenting her at the reunion. Um, I loved her hair and her makeup, and I think everyone looked amazing at the reunion.
No, everybody did
10
look good.
10s across the board. 10s across the board.
One person I'm gonna give a two, but everybody looked good. Everybody looked
Who?
good. Brandon, because he shouldn't have been there.
Oh, yeah, he don't.
Angelique said, I even hold girl code at work. I say something in the ladies' room stays between women. I agree.
Yeah,
Girl code doesn't have to be as, super, 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 super serious, but like
yeah.
it's girl code. Okay. Anything else on Swaggy T and Basic C?
No. I'm
No.
wishing you all the best. I really do. Yeah.
Roxy is. So then we pan over to Madison and Allan. Look at that happy couple there. Mm, mm,
How
mm.
tall is Alan? He looks so tall in that picture.
How tall is
Alan look nice in
Madison
that
though?
picture.
Madison looked
Yeah,
like she got a little height to her.
she does.
Mhm.
Alan looks nice in that picture.
He does. Now, I was
Yeah.
not a fan of Alan's beard. I will say that. I didn't like that beard at all. I was like,
I like the
ooh.
beard in this picture. Maybe that's why he looks nicer to me in this picture because he has a beard.
I
I
mean,
don't
men
know.
should have facial hair if they can. I understand that some men can't.
Men should have facial hair if
I
they can.
think men should have facial hair or at least a little shadow, a little something.
Mhm.
Something if you can.
Okay.
2
That's
plus 2.
before. See, look how nice 2 plus 2 equals 4. Look how nice and happy he looked before Madison stressed him out and broke his heart and ruined his life.
Broke his heart. You know why? Because she's a whore. She's
Oh
a
my
whore.
god. The
She is.
first time you said that when I was watching your review, I was like, "Oh, she's a hooker.
A
She's a
hooker.
lady of the night."
You know
I
why?
was
Because she
like,
kept hooker hours. Coming home, letting the sun beat you home, and you're married numerous nights. Then to
"Come
find
home
out that
late,
she was out when
leaving really be so fun."
sh- it was one episode. Oh Lord, what did I say? when I said Madden was sitting there looking like a muscle, I don't think that was me. Was that me? I
It
think
wasn't me.
Roxy. I don't think
It was
that
not me.
was.
It was
Wait,
not me.
I don't know if maybe it was me.
I don't think
I don't think I
I
said that.
mean,
You know what? I might have.
you might have.
I
You
don't
might
edit
have.
y'all, so whatever happens comes out, and then I remember when y'all
Why
tell me.
why someone put hashtag transactional. Okay, let's start with from the beginning. Um, it didn't seem like Madison, you can tell, like, very early on, she was not feeling Allan
No,
at all. Like, she wasn't feeling him. And that's why when Allan said, I think it was during it was during the reunion, and he said something about, like, if they had more time together before Madison started messing with David, maybe that spark could have grown. That's what he said. And I was like, nah, bruh. Like, I don't think that spark would have ever grown. I don't think that Madison was attracted to Allan at all from the very beginning. So,
S- I agree. She wasn't. I don't think the spark would have grown. However, I do think that they need to go back to how the show was before, where the couples didn't mingle. So when the
mhm.
show first started, for one, it was three couples and it was 1 hour, a recapper's dream. But they got married. They had to pick whose apartment or whose house they would move into, and they didn't see the other couples. So
I would have liked that.
they had no idea. So
Yeah.
then now them all being, I think they're just together too much. Like we don't all need to go on the honeymoon together. We can all be there, but we don't all need to
Mhm.
fly out together. We don't all need to sit down at the resort together. We don't
Yeah.
need to do any of that. Like I just met him. Let me go get to
Right.
know him.
Right. Yeah.
And I really only know y'all other heifers because we had a little bachelorette party together. Like we're not friends. And I think that's
Mhm.
where the show has gone wrong. Now, do I think that they would have stayed together? No,
Right.
because she didn't like him. But we would never know if Madison's head was even going to turn initially if David wasn't there.
Someone said Tammy definitely said it. So you did
Oh
call
my God, why
Madison a
y'all
muff.
have to say definitely like that? I think
They
y'all.
said you were Madison at all. It was definitely you, Tammy, because I fell out. Thank y'all for holding Tammy accountable for her words.
All I said was
They're like, yeah, you said it, Tammy. they they were
all
like,
I
yeah, it was you.
said was I didn't remember. Okay, I didn't remember.
It was Tammy. All caps. It was Tammy. Damn.
All I said was I didn't remember. Okay, but I do think that if David wouldn't have been there as a distraction, that she
With
might
his
have
bun.
tried harder. I don't think she would have liked Alan, but I think she would have
Right.
tried harder.
Because even on like Love is Blind, they have a couple of days alone together before they have that mixer with everyone where they finally meet, the other couples. I feel like like y'all know, this is my first season watching. So when someone commented and said, "Oh, they should have kept everyone separate," I was like, "Oh, that's how they used to do it. That would have been better. It would have been." I don't know. Maybe they'll go back to how they had it originally next season, but yeah, that would have been better.
But I
I
think
still don't think they would have been together, but
no, they definitely wouldn't have been together because she just didn't like him.
mhm.
But I think too, I think Alan came out too weird. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but like
Mhm.
everybody's weird, right? We all have our own kinks and quirks and stuff that we like that other people don't like. And I
Mhm.
think that Alan didn't have his representative on initially, and you probably should have had a little one on. Just
Yeah.
just a little one, cause like, you don't know her. It's different
Mhm.
if you've met this person organically and they saw you out and you got on a green lizard shirt and they're like, "Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
he's cute. We can
Yeah.
work past this. But like you brought that out and then you talking about your fur coats and I don't know, your Prada boots or whatever. You talking about all this weird
Mhm.
stuff. And it was too much. It was too much,
Yeah.
Alan. Then Alan, I felt like kind of trauma dumped too.
Oh, he did.
He trauma
Yeah,
dumped.
he
And it
did.
was like, you depressing and you can't dress? Like, oh my God.
And then they had that argument about the drinking, remember, when apparently it's weird because when that episode aired, it seemed like if, Alan was trying to drive drunk or, like, he drove drunk, and then at the end, when they were at the retreat, Alan was like, "No, I'm not driving. I don't drive drunk. You know what, homegirl," when he calls her homegirl, I was cracking up, but he was like, "I know homegirl trying to make it seem like I be driving drunk."
Home
So
girl.
it's like a whole bunch of stuff that they were doomed from the beginning, and then everything that transpired just like made it worse, was just the nail in the coffin for that couple. But um Madison was not feeling him from the very beginning. I remember when they were still on a honeymoon, they were on like a paddle boat, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't like the shirts that you be wearing. I don't like she was just running down on him like, "I don't like pretty much I don't like nothing about you. Like, I'm not attracted to you at all." She told him that he gives pushover vibes. Remember that? And it was, yeah, it just it was never gonna work out. It
But
wasn't.
she would say he gives pushover vibes while yelling at him. So like
She would yell at
she yelled at him that day in the gym. When they were in
him.
the gym,
Mm.
she yelled at him when she called him a pushover. And I'm like, you can't call somebody a pushover and then yell at them.
Is that the night she went to David's apartment?
After he called her a whore, yes. Yes,
So it's
that's the
Alan's
night
fault.
that she did
Alan's
that.
fault.
Yeah. I mean,
Listen.
if you act like one, you're gonna get caught one.
Do you feel like Madison, well, I was gonna ask if you felt like Madison gave Alan an adequate apology. I mean, she apologized. Um, but
I don't think she meant it. I'll say that. I don't think she means it.
right.
And I only say that because it's one thing to be scared. I don't think scared is the right word. Yeah, no, it's one thing to be scared to apologize because you don't want to have the conversation in general.
Mhm.
But the night that everything blew up, right? When they were on the couples retreat. Y'all who gave me a thumbs down cuz I don't believe Madison? Who cares? She's a whore. It's
So
probably
bad.
her in the chat. No, but I think it's one thing to apologize, it's another to mean it. And I don't think Madison meant it. And I only say that because when they were at the retreat and everything blew up, she had every opportunity to talk to Alan then. Truth be
Mhm.
told, the moment that Michelle sat down with Madison and was like, "Was that text meant for you?" She should have went to Alan right then and there and talked to him.
Right.
She
I feel
should
like, yeah,
have.
she should have broke the news to Alan as opposed to David. Like, what
We
was
didn't
that
see her
about?
do anything. And then she goes back after, they don't ruined everybody's trip because usually, Roxy, when they're on the couples retreat, they're there for
Mhm.
a couple days. It's always an argument, sure, but they play games and they drink and it's
Mhm.
a good time for the most part. We can
Yeah,
usually tell which couples are going to make it and which couples are not going to make it during that. We didn't even get to do that because we spent the entire time having to defend Michelle. Y'all
that
made
would
us
treat
have Michelle's back.
from Eketchi coming in with the green folder to everything else. That retreat was just a hot mess from the very beginning.
Just
From the
completely
very
ruined
beginning.
Carla's chakras. She was up in there just shaking. Like,
I know. I
but yeah,
know.
I don't think Madison is truly sorry. I don't. I think Madison apologized because she knew it would look good on TV.
Mhm. I do think that Madison knows that Alan really didn't deserve that though. So I feel like a little part of her feels bad just because Alan is such a nice guy. But she kept making sure to say, you know, I can't say I regret it because if it didn't go down the way it did, then I wouldn't have found David. And she's so in love with David. She loves paying all his bills and stuff. So I feel like she's still thankful, like to some degree, that she did what she did and ended up with David. But I do feel like she feels a little bad about it. But because she's trying to channel like her anger onto Michelle because Michelle told her secret on camera, that's what she's using, that to kind of like justify not having to apologize. The whole situation, in my opinion, is a mess, but I feel like she does feel a little bad for how she did Allan, because Allan was actually nice. Her anger towards Michelle is just, I don't know, an excuse to be upset because Michelle didn't do anything to her.
And that bothers me. And we're going to talk about it when we get to David
Yes.
and Madison, but that bothers me so, so much. And I had somebody in my comments say that I was harping on it, but I'm like, no, it's not a matter of them being real friends or TV friends or whatever. Michelle
Yeah.
literally just didn't do anything to her.
Yeah.
It's not like Michelle was like rude to her. We didn't see Michelle making these like little digs at her. Like Michelle
Mhm.
literally didn't do anything to her. So for you to be that upset is weird. But I had somebody in my comments say that maybe Michelle looks like Madison's mother. Or maybe she reminded her of her mother in some capacity and that's why she was like that.
Oh, girl.
You know,
Well, she
you
gonna
know
have to
the
go see the lady for that. That ain't Michelle's problem.
the therapist be in the comments, so
Oh, well, I mean, what can Michelle like? That's what can Michelle do about that?
she can't do nothing about that.
So that's like, so Madison gets to like go around snatching anybody man if the woman looks like Michelle, and then she can be a biatch about it.
It's fair
I mean,
game.
I guess that would make sense, but like it's not an excuse.
It's fair game.
Yeah.
Anybody with rooted blonde hair, she can do that.
She said, "Ain't no girl code for you if you look like my mama." Okay.
Ain't no girl code. They
And then
women's.
remember the picture of is it Madison's brother-in-law, and he looks just like David?
See,
Okay, we're not there yet.
I actually don't think that's weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority with that, but I didn't think that was like as weird as other people thought.
No, they look too much alike though. Like
I
they look too much alike.
maybe that's her type deep down.
Is it though? Because okay, I guess.
I want to say something, but I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be inappropriate. Um,
Okay. How do you feel about, I remember when Madison had Allan get like the Invisalign and change his clothes and all.
well, I will say this. Um, well, I'll say this. She didn't make Alan do any of that.
True.
So I'll
Yeah,
I'll
true.
give her that. So when Alan was saying I did all of this for you, Alan, you should have
Yeah,
just wanted to get braces. Right? And
true.
I don't like to talk about people's teeth because I was told not everyone had the luxury of growing up with braces and all that type of
Mhm,
stuff like some of us did. However,
mhm.
as an adult, right? Where we have our own insurance now and that type of stuff, I, dental health is just important.
Yeah,
Oral
and I
health is
think that
just
that's
important.
period, right. I think that's, and I feel like this is one of those situations where a woman can come in and like, "Oh, babe, maybe you should, you should do this or you should do that, tweak that." And it helped because I feel like when they were at the retreat, right, and everything blew up and Alan was kicking cabinets and stuff, he was like, "I just spent $3,000 on clothes for this biatch,
Mm,
and I got this and that and the third." And he was like, someone in the comments, they was like, "Oh, I hope he could get his money back for everything." I'm like, "No, keep the clothes, keep
mhm.
the keep it all. Don't take anything back, okay?" And even though he did it for Madison, I'm sure it helped him and his appearance and his
Yeah.
confidence. in all of that. So thank you, Madison, for helping Allan with a couple things. Thank
I
you,
mean,
girl.
Madison must be like the tooth whisperer because David got Invisalign too.
Oh, did he?
Because after I talked about that dead tooth, when he showed up to the reunion, it was fixed.
Oh, I see.
Hmm.
Look at Madison out here helping everybody. I love that.
Should have been a dentist because she clearly has that effect on people.
I love that. Love
Do
that.
we think that not Madison, but do we think that Allen should have cut his losses and walked away?
Yes. See, the way that people talk about like how they have to stay on, I need to know what this fee is. I need to know how much these people have to pay if they end these relationships early. I need to know how much they get paid to make it to the reunion because baby, what some of these people be going through, it's like, how much is it? Because why are we even doing this? I need to know
So
the amount for things to make sense.
I think a lot of it is a myth because we have seen people. So you've probably heard us talk about Alyssa. I'm a very good person.
Mm-mm.
I got to send you a clip of her. She was wild. Like she
Okay.
was a mess, a complete and utter mess. But she would cry and say that I'm a really good person, but I'm a good person about
Uh-huh.
literally everything. Hey, Chloe. So she would say that,
Hey, Clo.
and they got back from the honeymoon, and her
Mhm.
husband was like, "Today is my decision day."
Period.
Straight as soon as they got back, and they still
He
filmed. They
said
would still show up. So we've seen people quit before. So
so
I
you
don't
can
think
do that.
you
When you, like,
can.
break up, you can keep filming.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people break up and they still film. So I don't know. There's a bunch of myths. Some people have claimed to have seen the contracts. I don't know, but I don't think that
Mhm.
it's gonna like bankrupt you
Right.
if you stay the to the decision day.
And I think that it would be like, I personally felt like, I mean, we gonna get to Juan and Carla, but I'm like, why can't everyone just, if y'all not feeling each other, y'all know that it's not gonna work out, y'all aren't gonna be together, just have a little conversation like, yo, let's knock this out for a couple of weeks. Okay, let's get our little coin and then, move on with our lives.
We've seen
I
people
don't know
being
why that's so hard.
we've seen people being friendship couples where it's clear nothing's gonna move with them, and they
Right.
still would just put up this charade like it's going to.
Yeah, lie to us. Shit.
Let us give me something to talk about in the
Right.
recap, so I can at
Just lie
least
to us.
be like they ain't gonna be together. Give me something.
Right.
But
Right.
so Madison is who I said she was, right? So then
Mm.
we get over to so
Our
David and
favorite
Michelle
couple.
troubled me. It troubled me because now it makes us wonder. Okay, let's say this. Michelle's a bitch before y'all put it in the comments, okay? Michelle's a bitch. Michelle was rude. Michelle didn't like him. Michelle was awful.
I think for the people who like subscribed later in the season, they did not get a taste of us running down on Michelle in every review because Michelle was horrible.
She was.
Michelle,
And
she was horrible. She was. She was.
thank you, R. I appreciate it. She
Thank you.
she was. Michelle has been the face of my thumbnail and my wrath many a time, right?
Yep.
Howsoever, that does not negate what David did, right? So now it makes me wonder how much was David really trying?
Listen, when I saw the episode of them going to the gym and working out, and David said, as soon, and I quote, the quote might be off, but I'm gonna still quote because it's pretty damn close. He said, when I saw you get off that bus and I saw your biceps, I knew that you would be my gym buddy. Okay. He tried to put it in like this gym bro phrasing. He was flirting with Madison and he was complimenting her body. And that was like day 2. That was day 2. So I don't know. I don't think David tried. I feel like maybe he tried for a day or 2, but he was I I don't think that David really tried. Um, I don't. He
I
wanted to put on the act like he was trying,
Yep.
right? Like, "Oh, I'm just gonna, I'll sleep outside in the garbage can until she, tells me I can come back
Not the garbage
inside.
can.
I'll just try my best." Meanwhile, he was already plotting on Madison, and we here feeling bad for him, and he already plotting on somebody else. That's why they don't wanna say the timeline. Okay, don't get me started. All right, go ahead,
I think
'cause I'm about to
David
get
tried until that moment you just said. I think that David honestly and truly liked Michelle at the wedding. I think he liked Michelle at the honeymoon. I think that night he liked Michelle. The moment they got off that plane and he said, "Oh, she on the show too?" Bet.
right.
I think that's what happened. I think that's
And
what
it didn't
happened.
help. And it didn't help that Michelle, again, David is a grown man. He can make his own decisions. We not buying into the, "Oh, she was mean to me. I had no other choice." No, he had choices. But it did not help that Michelle what really the day that I got really, really pissed off at Michelle was when it was their 1-month anniversary and they were out to eat some damn sushi and she had on a yellow ball gown and she was upset. I don't know what she expected him to wear, a damn tuxedo or something to eat some sushi, but she was like, "Oh, that's what you're wearing?" I was like, "Michelle."
Y'all
I was
are
like,
at
"Okay."
Benihana, girl. It's fine.
She was doing way t and Dave was talking about, "Oh, I wasn't gonna wear this, but I can't." Yes, you were. That's exactly what you were gonna wear because that's how you dress for the rest of the season too. It's okay. But I feel like Michelle did way too much in that episode, and I'm like, "Girl, you are a piece of work."
And we've talked about the living situation already, right? I feel like if Michelle told Dr. PM that she was okay with it, then her ass should have been okay with it. If you
She
told
did
and
do that.
she wasn't coerced into it, she wasn't fooled, she wasn't tricked. You told her you were okay with it, you were okay with it. Now, when it got to the part about him not having any savings, that's a problem because you're not paying bills.
Right.
So that's the issue. I saw some people, and I have to constantly bring this up, but I saw some people say that she treated David inhumane. And that just lets me know that we need to go back to Tammy Talks
Timmy.
word of the day because words mean things. And I have to tell the group chat this all the time. Words mean things.
She be scolding us, y'all. She be like, words mean things."
It's not scolding, it's helping, it's helping. I told a coworker that today. Words mean things. It's not the proper word, okay? But inhumane, like, do y'all know what inhumane is? Because Michelle didn't treat him inhumane. She treated him like a bum.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm not talking about the bum that lives on the street that fell on hard times. She treated him like the bum. They just didn't want to do anything but be a bum.
Mhm.
Plus, David lied about the money. He lied about it.
Oh,
Because
he
if
did big
you
time.
still told
And his
Matt,
friends.
still told Madison that you needed 6 to 9 months to move out, 6 to 9 months. And I know Chicago is expensive, but how much do you make?
Right.
And
And
I'm
don't
not
he work
even
2 jobs?
and I'm not even trying to shame him, but like six to
Yeah.
nine months to get a secure, where are you trying
Listen,
to move?
Michelle did tell, like, I guess in David's defense, Michelle did tell the producers that she was okay with a man who still lived in his parents' basement. Now, what Michelle should have done was stand 10 toes down and said, "No, I don't want a man who lives in his basement." The same way that Madison stood 10 toes down and said she does not want a man of color. Okay? Michelle should have done the same thing and stood in her shit. Because it seems like, and I had said this in my review, even though Madison ended up making an exception for David, but I had said this
Hmm.
in my review. Michelle, I just lost my train of thought. But Michelle, when coming to David living in his parents' basement, I don't think that, and I'll die on, that's the hill I'm gonna die on. I don't feel like anyone should have to lower their standards
No.
because it's mean or whatever. And I did not like how the experts were making Michelle feel bad for having some type of requirement for her husband. Now, granted, it did seem like during the process, Michelle was just saying whatever to get on the show, right? And that's why when they presented her with David, she was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll take a man who lives in his basement," knowing that that's not really what she wanted, you know?
And I think that's where we disagree because not about the lowering standards or anything, but I don't
Mhm.
think they tried to make Michelle feel bad about her standards. I think they tried to have Michelle look past the superficial. So
That's
it's
not superficial though. We
but
gonna get into it.
I think it's superficial because Michelle had a very specific tunnel vision version of what she deems successful, right? According to Michelle, that deluxe apartment in the sky that she had, that basic ass one bedroom apartment that had the two-seat that was only big enough for the two-seater couch in the living room, to her, that is successful. I think
But that's her spot.
but
It's
that's
hers though. She ain't in nobody basement. When she's at her home, ain't nobody mommy and daddy coming downstairs doing laundry when she's in her spot. That's her spot though.
no, I get that. However, when you make the decision to come onto a show and have a stranger pick another stranger for you, you get what the F they give you. I just feel like, yes, it's okay to have standards. I have standards, right? You have standards.
You
Michelle
have to
has
have at least
standards.
500 pairs of Jordans if you want to talk to Tammy. Just letting you
You
know. That's
definitely gotta have some Jordans in your closet. And you know what? That's superficial AF. However, I'm gonna look at your shoes and be like,
it's
I'm gonna
just
give
gonna work. It's just
Michelle.
gonna work.
So that's what you chose to wear today? Okay. But I just kind of feel like, but I just kind of feel like when it comes to this show, whatever standards you have, you should have addressed with the experts and it should have been non negotiable. You
Have y'all
said
seen?
you were okay with him living at home.
That's true. She did say that.
You said it.
In the past, and since I haven't seen the other seasons, I know I kept saying, do they not show the experts their finances? Is that not a requirement for people to submit these types of documents, credit reports, like
I don't
bank
think so.
statements? It needs to be.
I don't think so because we have seen Stephen Noy. I forgot what season that was. Stephen Noy. I want to say 15 maybe. They were in San Diego. Steve lived in his car. He was a nomad, right? He was one of them people that just like to float. And he said, I work when I need to work. I don't need to work every day. And people were in the
Oh,
comments screaming, Steve is rich. Tammy, you're wrong. Steve is probably wealthy. Look at Steve. Steve is rich. So he went through the whole season not wanting a job, not having a true apartment, not having finances. You know what happened? They stayed married. And by the time they got to the where are they now, they asked us for a divorce. You know why? Because Steve was broke. Steve never wanted to show the finances. There was another couple, Brianna and Vincent. He felt inferior to her. He was a piece of work. Remind me to send you a clip of him. He used to act such an ass. Like, talk about a big
Brianna and
ass
Vincent.
Brianna and Vincent. And it's crazy. They're still together now, but they had conversations about money, almost
Mhm.
arguments about money, to where Brianna had a bag and she would spend, I think she was spending like $500 on her braids, and she was getting her braids done, which I feel like is standard now, but she was getting her braids done like once a month or something like that. And she was
Mhm.
like, I can afford it, but he couldn't. And they would argue about money. He also
Oh.
cried because he couldn't do, what was it, like the bachata or something. He had a temper tantrum about a horse. He did a lot, but they made it through.
Ew.
They made it through. They are still married with children. But we've seen a lot of these finance issues happen
Mhm.
throughout the course of the show. Stasia. It was Stasia, Stasha, and Nate. She said she wanted a man that made six figures because she did. She made him
Mhm.
sign a prenup as part of their storyline.
Oh, nice.
And she got trashed by social media. Trashed by social
Cause
media.
she wanted to protect herself
Sh-
from
She made like 300,000 a year or something like that. And she was like, this protects both of us.
right?
G-
No,
Mirla
she's
and
not.
Gil.
No protection. You
No,
shouldn't wanna protect yourself at all.
no.
Shame on you. Oh,
Mirla and
okay.
Gil, he almost lost his mind because she wanted to upgrade her phone. She said, hey, I'm going to buy a new cell phone. He almost lost his shit. He said, we're not going out to brunch. We got bacon and eggs at home. So, like, we see them argue about money. So, I don't think they're a requirement. I would have to have a requirement because you're not going to get me with a David. I don't want no
Yeah.
control because you're not going to have a bang and we're going out to dinner.
Tammy I was just about to say, Tammy gonna be like, "No man buns,
No man buns.
okay?
No.
No cargo shorts. No, what you call the Jordans that you don't like?
Mids. No Jordan mids. That's childish.
No mid." Pastor Cal gonna be like, "Girl, what are you talking about? What are you
I'm gonna say,
talking
Pastor, write it down. Okay, write it all down. Yes, thank you, Chloe. Michael and Mika. Was it Mika? Yes, he lied and said that he was a principal and a yoga instructor and all this stuff. They go to the yoga place. Not only is he not a yoga instructor, but he was just the janitor that sometimes took a class there. Em-
Okay, that's wrong.
Embarrassed.
And that's wrong. Like, why even lie about who that's scary. Honestly, people who lie about stuff like that, not it doesn't even matter that he wasn't a yoga instructor, he was a janitor instead. Just people who lie about things like that, it's like that's scary.
Yeah.
That even David, bringing it back to David, when Michelle met up with David and his friends Tom and Tom at the bowling alley, and she was telling them that, one of her issues was his finances and feeling financially secure. David was in the back chuckling, and she was like, "What's funny?" He's like, "Well, because like you're making a big deal about my finances, and I can change my living situation with the snap of my finger."
Mm-hmm.
And Tom was like, "Yeah, yeah, he can. Oh yeah, he can buy a house tomorrow." And then we find out that that's not the case. He actually needs a couple of months, which is fine. Can't everybody just go out and put a down payment on a house? I understand times are hard,
But
but
it
why
it
lie
wasn't a
about it?
it wasn't a couple months for a house. It was a couple months to rent an apartment.
Right. To
That's a
even move out of
problem.
his yeah, that's a problem.
That's a
That's a problem.
problem.
Because remember, he was giving the impression, and we had a back and forth about this too, right? Because I felt like um so David was trying to give the impression that he was only in his parents' house because he wanted to be, not because he had to be, right? Because he had a condo or an apartment before, and then he moved back and he said it didn't make sense to go pay rent, whatever. Right. And I felt like, and I said, I've seen people who rent rooms or they have maybe a smaller basement apartment and it's decked out. Like it looks really nice. It looks
Yeah.
like they take pride in where they live, even if it's just a room, right? You take pride in where you lay your head. And you said that you felt like the way that David kept his apartment was more of a testament to the fact that he's only there temporarily. Like, oh, that means, he don't got it decked out because he's not planning on staying there for a long period
Yeah.
of time. He's just passing
Hmm.
through. No, that's just how he lives.
He
And that's
embarrassed
where he
me.
needed.
Yeah. He embarrassed me. Like,
I was like, Tammy, what were you saying? What were you saying?
got me ate up in the group chat because here I am caping for you. And yeah.
He got
S-
bear kegs and stuff. I was like, oh, David.
Like, it was slopping down there. Like, what is happening? So, him and Michelle, we get to this.
Michael was awful.
He
Michael
was
was
like,
Michael was the worst.
Michael.
What season is this? I need to watch this. They cracking me
Chloe,
up.
what season is this? Is Chloe in the chat still? I want to say 10. Chloe's gonna know for sure because I
Yeah.
think she has seen every single season.
Well,
So
well.
we get to the lie. Okay.
Mhm.
I just sent it to my cousin. My cousin sent me some food and I sent it back to my cousin. Now here's the thing. Hey Di. So here's the thing. Or Di. You know who I'm talking to. So Chloe says season 10. So we have this situation, right? You get caught up. What David should have did was said, I was just shooting my shot at you. I had a couple drinks. Michelle might have been flattered. Me, myself, personally, if I don't like you, I'm disgusted and I'm cussing you the fuck out.
Right.
However, David could have spun it. But David was what made it even worse though is the fact that he lied to her face and then went to go meet her family. And he sat up in her mother and her friend and her sister's face and talked about how can I get to know her? How can I get her to open up? That's what made it look even worse. Why even still go through with it? Then you start telling lies. Brought you into it, Roxy. Said that he was texting you and all this other stuff. Like he did too much. Like he did too much.
Pull his cousin into it. And then when he met up with the family, he was like, yeah, all I ask is that Michelle keep it real with me. And I'm like, bruh, after you just told a lie, what was cousin's name? Diane or Denise or something? Dragged her into it.
Denise.
For what? And there's so many ways. I said I've seen toddlers tell better lies than that. Like David, he could have definitely gotten himself out of that lie. Talking about, oh, you look so good, I want to eat you up. Talking about a plate of food that his cousin sent to him. Sir, no, nobody talk like that. And then what he gonna do? All he's gonna do is hit you with that's what it is. You can believe it or not. You can believe it or not.
And I think we all know anytime somebody says you can believe it or not, they're lying.
Lying.
Like you're lying. It was
Yep.
Denise because we're gonna talk about Miss Diane because she was inappropriate several times. But Denise was like, don't bring me into this, and especially don't bring me into your lie on TV.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's one thing if you text me and you like, okay, Tammy, cover for me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Girl code, okay? It's one thing if you do that, but if I know that you're filming, don't have my name and my likeness all spread across
Right.
the. No, don't do that. And Denise said, "Not today. It stops here. It
And I
stops
think
here."
that Denise is that and has been, I'm assuming that Denise has been that go-to cousin that would cover for him
Yep.
all the time. And I feel like this situation was different because she's like, oh, you're married now? Nah, I'm not playing with that. But I feel like Denise is definitely that cousin who has covered for him time and time again. And she was like, nah, not this time. Like, mm-mm.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
because this was just a stupid lie. Why say a
Yeah.
plate of food? Lord have mercy. Mention a celebrity's name or something. Why would it be a plate of food?
And then you don't know what the dish was. You don't have the picture. You don't have the text thread. Like, that was the worst lie he could have came up with, because there's so many ways to verify that you're lying.
Everybody has a
I
picture of food in their phone. It's 2025.
He
Everybody
didn't
has
even know
food.
if it was chicken or dumplings or rice. He couldn't even come up with that. I'm like, "Okay, David, you
Stupid.
don't tell any lies, David, because you're not that good at it.
Yeah,
Don't tell any
horrific.
lies."
So then, so then we get to the couples retreat. Okay. Now Michelle already
Mhm.
went with an attitude. She really
Oh,
it
she
was real.
went with a mission. She was on a mission.
So she's there. MM is
Mhm.
going just for shits and giggles because like she know hers is over. Or
Right.
so because I think MM still wanted Eketchi. But so Michelle gets there and she said, all right, time to sniff out the cheaters, okay? So she
Mhm.
was already suspecting Michelle based on some different scenarios. So they get there and Michelle point blank asks Madison, is it you? And Madison was like, no.
Was it for me? I don't she was happy.
Yeah.
She was happy, and in the after party, that astrologer pointed that out. Like, she Madison was on some, "I don't I don't think it was for me. Do you think it was for me?" Like, no. Like, she was excited at the thought of the possibility that the text could be for her.
She was.
So, yeah, for sure.
So she was like, no. She even went as far as to go upstairs and grab her phone and on the way downstairs make sure she was delete, delete to get down there and be like, see, look, all the while searching, and then Michelle sees her name in a bunch of text messages. Because let me tell you this, if I'm ever sitting by somebody and they search Tammy and I see my name in some threads, the fuck are you talking about me this much for? What's
Right.
happening?
Mhm.
What to be like, oh, well, we all talk shit about each other. No, we all don't.
No, we don't.
No, we
No, we
don't.
don't.
And
Right.
Michelle was like, I don't. So then Madison was
Right.
like, oh, you don't? Oh, okay, my bad. Well, it wasn't me.
And the fact that Madison deleted the whole text thread, first of all, when she first asked Michelle, when she was playing big and bad, and she was like, "It's not for me. We don't even text. We only text about the gym. Do you want to see my phone?" Michelle spared her and she was like, "No." Michelle should have been like, "Yeah, let me see the phone right now," because Madison had time to go upstairs. She didn't show her the
Mm-hmm.
phone immediately. Madison, you had enough time to at least delete the more incriminating text messages and just leave the ones about the gym. Unless y'all be talking like that, where y'all she just had to delete the whole shit. She was like, deleting everything is better than leaving something. Y'all was probably talking about some wild stuff in them text messages for you to have to delete the whole damn thread, Madison. But it
Cause
would have been better if you left something, because that's why Michelle was like, "Oh, I thought you said that y'all speak about going to the gym." Madison was like, "We do." Michelle's like, "Okay, so where are the text messages?" She's like, she didn't even know what to say. She didn't even know what to say. I'm like, "Madison, you dummy. You big dummy."
Mo said she'd have turned Lifetime into Zeus.
Right.
Madison knew who to
Right.
play with because Madison wouldn't have done it with Camille and she wouldn't have done it with
Um,
MM.
no.
Well, she probably
Mm-mm.
could have played in MM. They could have been sister wives. But so
Yeah.
David and Michelle are done, right? Because things come to a head and this happens.
Oh. Boom.
And I said, well, I never.
Yeah.
Well, I never.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna be real. They look nice together.
I
Okay.
was just about to say,
This
look,
is
they look cute together.
I wasn't shady. I went and found a
That's a
really
nice
nice
picture you
picture.
found.
I went and found a really, really nice
That's
picture
a nice picture. That is.
of them.
Look at them.
Look at
Okay.
them. Look at that. So,
I'm done. Not the
so
Ooh,
then we get
child.
to David and Madison.
Yes.
So, David and Madison. Okay. Look, I feel like we've exhausted with it. I'll just say this about them.
Mhm.
I don't like the way that it was handled because there are some people that feel that this isn't a real marriage. It's just an experiment, yada, 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 blah, 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 blue, blue, blue,
Blue, blue,
whatever.
blue.
However,
I
it's a
love when you say
respect
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't respect Michelle and you don't respect Alan, have some respect for yourself and how you
Mhm.
are presenting yourself on TV. And I get it. The heart wants what it hurt. The heart wants what it wants, right?
Mhm.
Sure. Sure. But I guess what does it say about you as a person, as an adult, that you can't wait 8 weeks?
Yeah. That's the part where it's like I I don't know why it was so hard. It was only a couple of weeks. Do y'all know? Let's say, they knew they were feeling each other and they didn't act on it for 8 weeks. Do you know how much sexual tension that y'all could have built up over those 8 weeks? Do you
Yes.
know how popping that would have been after the 8 week process was done and y'all finally got to act on what y'all want to act on? Like, y'all sold yourself short, okay? Y'all could have had an even better time than y'all are probably having. But honestly, I feel like I don't think it should have been that hard. It's only a couple of weeks, right? And the way that they're going about covering it up and not wanting to reveal the timeline. And at this point, honestly, who cares? They're together. But I feel like that alone shows that they started this pretty early, like honeymoon
Yeah.
time, you know? So it's like I don't think that y'all really gave the relationships a chance at all.
And
Maybe
I
like
think
one day.
it's stupid because you saying that we're not going to talk about the timeline, we're going to save that, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter though, because this is why it matters. Because David had all of us on his side.
Oh
Michelle,
yeah.
we called Michelle everything but a child of God. I certainly did. I
Yeah.
called her a bunch of
Yeah.
names, right?
Mhm.
Or for it to really be David that was acting a fool. So it
Mhm.
does matter. It matters because Alan really liked you for whatever reason.
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason, Alan truly liked Madison. And what really bothered
Mhm.
me the most was Madison's anger and disgust for Michelle. You
Yeah.
sitting up there dressed like the devil and you want to fight
That
somebody.
Listen, y'all, the night that that episode aired and Madison had on that red eyeshadow, Tammy came in the group chat pissed off. Like, what is on her eye? Why is she wearing red eyeshadow? I mean, granted, I said she looked, what I said she looked like the devil's wife at a Christmas party. She
Mm-hmm.
looked evil. I've never seen someone wearing eyeshadow and it not be for like some type of costume event,
So
carnival, something like that.
in
She
in
looks
their
scary.
defense, in their defense, somebody said that that night that episode was filmed during Halloween and they were in costume.
Uh, well, that would be the only reasonable explanation for that. Because I
But
was
then
like, whoa.
my response was, are they the only two people in the cast that celebrate? Because
Right, because
nobody
everyone
else was
looked
in costume.
right. They were the only ones.
They the only people going to Halloween?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
Mm.
I guess. Yeah.
So
Uh,
I, I don't like Madison. I think that Madison is everything that I said she was. I feel like you can't get offended at somebody thinking that you are a lady of the night when you keep lady of the night hours.
eh,
You're coming home 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's a problem
Yeah. And
when you're married.
remember she said, before even before everything, like, we found out about David, there was one night where she went out, and I remember Alan was in the pool, and he was doing a little confessional, and he was like, Madison told me she'll be back in like an hour. She was going out with her friends. It was like, I don't know, maybe 5 hours later, she still didn't come home. And it's like, when she came back the next morning, because she didn't come home at all, she came back the next morning and she's like, oh, yeah, I was out with my friends, blah, blah, blah. That's just what I do. We sleep over at each other's house.
Mhm.
And maybe that is what she was doing before. But one, you're going to have to make some adjustments now that you're in a relationship. And two, I think you was with David.
Yes.
Like, there's no way that production caught them coming. And production, y'all messy because y'all knew this was going on for a long ass
Yeah.
time, and y'all didn't tell nobody nothing. Okay. But for them to be caught coming home at the same time so many times, and for them to claim, like, oh, we only hung out together once out of all those times, that is not a coincidence. And both Madison and David, y'all, if y'all gonna do what y'all do, at least be smart about it. At least be like, okay, I'm gonna go to my apartment at 3:05 and you don't come in until 3:37 or something. Y'all both coming in at the same damn time, talking about y'all weren't together.
They were eating tacos.
Taco twins. That's what we
He
call them over on my channel. They the taco twins.
he liked tacos. She liked tacos. She said that after a long night of sex, she likes to get tacos.
Period.
And David looks like he can put a few away. So I'm sure they enjoy
Mm-hmm.
these themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like her. I wish them whatever's coming to No, I don't want to I don't wish anybody bad.
I
Um
know.
I don't care. I don't wish them well because I just don't care. But I just hope that they know that the way that you get them is the way that you lose them. And Juan said
Right.
it best. How can y'all trust each other now?
With how y'all got together.
That's the thing. How can y'all? And then for Madison, this what got me. Remember when David was sitting there with the discolored tooth, and they were at that. They were getting ice cream, right?
Why
Which
did they zoom into his mouth like that?
to show that his ass didn't need no sweets. That's why. The last thing you needed is sugar in that moment. However, so they're sitting there and she told him that she wants trust. Tell me, tell me what's happening. Tell me if you feel the way so I don't get
Mhm.
surprised by something. What do you mean? Surprised like
Right.
Michelle got surprised like Alan got surprised? No. Let him cheat on you in peace the way that he cheated on
Yes.
Michelle. The
Yes.
audacity, the gall, the temerity, the nerve, Madison, for you to think that David needs to give you a heads up if he's not
Heads up.
happy when he didn't tell
Right.
Michelle, girl, go to hell. See,
Exactly. And I was like, "Girl, Madison, you should have 0 expectations for David, okay? And you better
zero.
make sure that you ask him how his day was every single day. Don't miss a day. Don't be sick, okay? Don't go out of town. Make sure that you are on his ass, giving him what would he always say Madison gave him? Attention, and she would ask me questions and ask me how my day was, okay? Me. Make sure that you keep that up because if you don't, he is well within his right to do whatever because that's pretty much the standard that you set.
Because Madison asked me how my day was. Madison talked to me. She would ask me how my day was. How was your day, David? That's all I wanted. She would ask me questions. We played darts. We drink Jaeger. We play pool together. David wants a David wants a friend.
He was a
I
homie.
have as a woman, Madison, you should not be happy that a man is like, yeah, we go take shots together, we play pool and we play darts. You are the homie that he's
He wants a
sleeping with.
homie who pays his bills.
Talking about
David
Jaeger in his late 30s. I almost
David got
threw
it
up.
good. David
Jaeger?
David got it good.
Living a dream.
I will say though, by the Where Are They Now episode, by the Where Are They Now episode, I gave David like a prop because I feel like he was being more realistic about the situation because Madison was still on some, oh, Michelle didn't apologize to you, blah, blah, blah. And David was like, honestly, I don't need her apology, right? And she probably thinks that my apologies were bullshit anyway. So at this point, it doesn't matter, right? And I'm like, okay, at least we can see that David is thinking a bit and he's not as delusional as Madison because the way that Madison was like, yeah, but I'm really protective of you and I didn't like seeing her talk. Girl, who gives a damn at this point? Y'all are together. Who cares? I mean, we did see Michelle apologize, but it's like, girl, I don't know why Madison has all of these expectations for other people. It makes no sense.
I did appreciate Michelle apologizing,
Mhm.
introspection. So I
Yeah.
wanted that to come
Right.
from her. Madison, go straight to hell for you to think that Michelle owes David anything. Does Michelle owe David an apology? Yes, she does.
Mhm.
She didn't
Mhm.
treat him inhumane, but she was rude to him. She was condescending.
Right.
Madison, what are you gonna apologize to Michelle for? Because if I
And the fact
recall, remember how she was acting up in that confessional? Keep my name out your mouth. I
you too old. You too old to be acting like that. I said, girl, I'm sorry, cause
it would have been some furniture moving in the green room. Because who are you talking to, Madison? The
she was like, "I have nothing to
audacity.
do with that. I have nothing at all to do with that. She needs to keep my name out her mouth." Girl, shut if you don't shut your ass up. All of the energy that she had, even when Michelle confronted her, right? And they were in the bathroom, and Madison was like, "Okay, so like, are you gonna?" It's just Madison's energy, and that's why I said Madison has this energy, like she want to fight, and she that's why I said put her on Zeus, okay? Because clearly that I don't know what makes her feel like that's how she wants to get down. Put her ass on Zeus so that she can snatch somebody's man on baddies and buck up to them and see how many minutes she can last in the ring or whatever. She just messes with who she wants to mess with, but just her attitude throughout the whole thing. She wasn't apologetic about it.
Mm-mm.
She was like, "We didn't make any mistakes. There ain't no mistakes made over here," right? And the fact that she said that she couldn't she hated seeing Michelle treat David so horribly. How did you feel when you watched it back and you saw how you treated Allan? How did you feel about that? You should
Right.
feel worse about that because that's actually what you did to Allan, and Allan was nothing but nice to you. And you
Like
treated him like
literally,
shit.
literally nothing but nice to you. Cooking and cleaning.
Cooking, renovated his whole kitchen. Allan had a cute little kitchen, okay? Allan had a cute little spot.
Mm,
It's fine.
heifer. So then we go to somebody asked, how long do we think they will last? I think they gonna last.
I think they will. And
They
I
will
said it.
last.
I was like, they might stay together, and the parents really like each other. Listen, David's
Um,
mom,
does her dad really like David?
I think her dad does like David.
Mm,
I think her dad know that Madison like is a little wild, right? And he's happy that maybe she found this one person to settle down with. David's mom and dad are just happy that she took him up out of their basement. Okay. So
look,
they gonna love whoever. But I think that the dad likes him, even though he didn't give his immediate blessing. Um, I still feel like he does like David. And he said it too. Like he said that he feels like they're perfect and what I mean, I think they're gonna stay together for longer than expected.
yeah, I think they will. If Elijah and Katina can still be together, they can be together too. You need to watch all the seasons, Roxy.
I'm like, okay, I guess.
They know when
I
in
know
the
they know in
chat.
the chat. That's why I'm like, I guess so.
All right, so we get to Wancho and Carla. I don't have a lot to say about them for real, for real. They just
Mhm.
they weren't they didn't mesh, and that's fine. My issue now is Juan is getting on my nerves so bad. I don't pay
Mhm.
attention to Married at First Sight tea because I don't care.
Mhm.
However, every time I get on the YouTubes, his face is there
Yes.
talking about some. I had a secret. And she's gonna tell my secret, but she can't tell my secret. And my new girlfriend likes astronomy, but I don't like tarot. And it was too much sage, but I like candles. Like, leave us alone.
Yeah, I'm not understanding like what the like okay, I feel like they're doing a bunch and I saw one of Carla's interviews with I can't remember the channel name, but her name is Leia. It's like positive something commentary. Sorry, I can't. I said it in my video though, but I can't remember the name. But the way that Carla exposed Juan, she didn't tell the secret, but she said a lot about how he was during the experience. Like Juan sounds like the cheapest person ever, right? She said that he was one way on camera and completely different off camera. Carla gave the example of like the honeymoon. She said that all the ladies were in the pool and one by one they were getting up to go do whatever treatment their husband had booked for them, whether it was a massage or something else, right? And even the husbands would come and ask their wives, "Hey, babe, I'm going to the bar. Do you want me to get you something?" She said, out of all the women got up to do their little treatment. She was the only one who never got up because Juan didn't book anything for her. Juan
Oh,
never came over to her and asked her if she wanted something to drink. She said, that scene, remember when Juan was riding his bike? Juanathan, he was riding his bike early in the morning and he came home and he was on camera and he was like, "Oh, look, I done did my bike ride and it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon and Carla just waking up." She posted receipts that that wasn't 1 p.m. It was actually like 8 a.m. So he was trying to make her seem like this lazy bum. She said even when she quit her job, she had told him days prior. And then when they recorded it, he acted as if he was shocked, as if he didn't know, as if they didn't discuss it. She just said a lot of things that made it didn't paint a nice picture of Juan. And this is all without saying whatever that big secret was or is. So I don't know. And I liked Juan, but it seems like he was definitely putting on for the cameras and for the show.
we wouldn't have known that there was a damn secret if Juan wouldn't have said anything.
I didn't know.
That's the thing. We wouldn't have known. Who knows Carla's sister's Instagram? Oh my
Right.
God.
I didn't hear
Block
nothing
her
about it until
ass
he
and
started
move
to move on.
on.
Right. Right.
I
I
just,
and
I
I
can't.
yeah.
I can't. I can't be bothered because one, we're y'all not even the couple we want to hear about after the show.
Right.
Nobody hates either one of
Right.
y'all. Y'all just didn't work, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Y'all just didn't work, and that's fine. My only problem with Juan is he would act as if it was such a huge revelation when they would be like, ask Carla if she wants to do something too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. That's my only problem with Juan. Otherwise, who cares? Go get some
Mhm.
Rogaine for that bald spot and leave us alone.
Oh, speaking of that, well, not the boss, but what you
Oh,
said
I was
before,
gonna say what happened. What would you hear?
Carla also said Carla also said that during the honeymoon, like she saw how selfish Juan was, right? So that's why she made such a big deal over him saying, "Oh, I totally forgot about you," because before that, he was showing so many signs of being inconsiderate. She said that she would be like, "Oh, let's go to the pool," right? And he would be like, "No, I want to go for a walk." And she'd be like, "Okay, can we do both?" And he'd be like, "No, I want to go for a walk." Like type shit. Like
Not
we going to do
no.
this or we're not doing anything at all. She said that that's how he was. She also said that they didn't go on one-on-one dates. Whatever one-on-one date they went on, she took care of it. And then they would only go out like with the group or with her family.
What do you,
So he seemed
wait,
not
wait, wait, wait,
romantic.
wait. Took care of it how?
Like she would pay for like when they would go out together one-on-one.
But didn't he?
And
Wasn't he
listen,
saying she
I
was poor and broke and she ain't had no money and she was financially?
I already got the vibe that, and I don't know if
Uh,
Juan is broke, But he definitely doesn't come off as generous, right? And if you're with
One
someone and they're not broke, and they're not generous, they have money and they're not generous, they might as well be be broke,
Juan is
okay?
broke. I
Because
was watching him on Lil Black Book. Shout out to Kojo, and he
hey,
said that all his
Kojo.
credit cards are maxed out.
Um Oh, he did say that, right? He did say that he's like paying 10K in expenses or whatever. I feel like if you're even at that point, then why are you even on this show? One. And if you're looking for a wife to grind it out with you, right, during this time because you just know that your app is going to pop off or whatever, how come when Carla's friends asked you, oh, after your app pops off, right, and Carla's been holding you down this whole time, and she wants to be a housewife, can she do that? Juan was still on some no. Like,
He made that very clear.
no, I don't care if you held me down. Take your ass to work, okay? And we know that that's been instilled in him from his daddy. So I
Holly.
feel like Juan has.
Shout out to Ashley.
Yo, we need at least 10K.
We gotta do at least
We need
10K.
at least 10K. Where my banana peel at so I can rub it all over my face
I'm gonna do
and drink
I'm
some
gonna do
water.
an ice
Twerk
plunge in the
while I
morning.
drink some water. Make sure when you drink your water at 4 a.m., you squat down and you look back and you do a little twerk. That's the only way to do it. And it has to be at 4
Like,
o'clock in the morning. Okay.
cause what was the point? What was the point?
When I went to the
Good night,
side note, when I went to
Erica.
the supermarket the other day, there was Saratoga water, and someone had pulled a Saratoga out, and clearly they stole one. I'm like, they probably saw that video. They're like, I ain't buying this whole pack. Let me just see what this water tastes like
And they
because
sell them separately. Well,
they
the
well,
store by me
they
does at
wasn't trying.
least. Maybe they busting up cases for the. I'm gonna get one. My next video, y'all gonna see me with a Saratoga water. I'm gonna do the ice plunge. If I get to 35K, I'm a at 4
Woo, dude.
a.m.
I mean, well, Tammy, you said when you hit 30K or was it 20K that you were gonna twerk, and I ain't seen you twerk yet. So Tammy, don't listen to Tammy. She be making promises and then she don't do what she say she gonna do. So you owe us all a twerk.
Wow. If I recall, I didn't say any of that.
I heard you say it.
Huh.
Yep. And if
I,
Chloe and you're in the chat, they heard you say it too.
I don't recall. Do we have anything else for Wancho and his ponchos and Carla?
Oh, with that Juancho Poncho thing, I want Carla to put her face on there. I don't give a damn if it's called Juancho's Ponchos because Juan seems like he gonna take whatever Carla is willing to get. He don't even know anything about the damn ponchos. When they said, "Oh, we can make ponchos that can turn into bags," he was like, "Oh, really?" Carla, if you're gonna go into business with him, which I don't know why she would do that, definitely make sure that you ingrain yourself more in that marketing so that it's not something that Juan can just like plop you out of after all your hard work, because clearly we can see that it's her, it's her ideas that are he didn't think of no Juancho's ponchos. Oh, she also said that the reason why she was calling him Juancho is because he was like so self-centered and being fake on camera and not fake off camera, because it was like the Juan show.
Ooh.
So she was like, yeah, in a perfect world, like this would just be the Juan show because like he's so self-centered, blah blah blah, and that's why she was calling him Juancho.
So did he know
I said,
that?
oh, I didn't watch that far, so I don't know.
Oh my
I
God. He
don't
probably
know,
thought it was
but
a
that's
little
what she said.
nickname.
Right? I was like, oh, that's cute because I was calling him Juanathan, but she was calling him Juancho, and I was like, where did she get that from? I just thought it was just like a cute nickname, but she was like, yeah, it was like a double entendre, Juancho, and the Juan show. So yeah,
Can
I
I
haven't seen.
say I
Mhm,
thought that was like really his name. Cause like she said it so often. I was like,
mhm.
oh, okay,
No, she said
Wancho. I
Juancho.
was okay with it.
It's cute. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay. Well, Godspeed to both of them individually.
yeah, yeah. me drink some water for these two.
So, talk about somebody embarrassing you. The way that MM embarrassed just YouTube as a collective is crazy. MM went from being in everybody's comments, being in everybody's lives, telling us just hang tight, hold on. I'm not gonna let y'all down, to being like, girl, get all of the fucks. Like,
Oh boy.
so somebody said his cankle. We
Bree.
don't body shame over here. No.
We don't.
No.
We don't.
We don't body shame. Okay, so
I didn't even notice.
I wore my blue glasses because Eketchi has these, and I wanted to
Oh, that's
channel
you.
his spirit for this time. So the only thing left to say about these two is I appreciate Eketchi. I appreciate him for apologizing, whether he meant it or not. I do believe it was sincere. Shockingly, I think his was sincere. I think he did see the way that he behaved and was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that his apology was for MM. I think he was apologizing like to his friends and family. Cause he knows he did the most. You did a lot. You did a lot. And I'm glad that he admitted on the reunion that he didn't want her. He wasn't. Here's the thing. Every season we get somebody that is just not physically attracted to their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
We are all adults. If he don't like you, girl, somebody else will. So it's okay. Everybody is not
Right.
gonna like you. That's life. But I hate when they do the whole, well, I didn't want to embarrass you. You called this
Well, he
lady
can't say
an
that.
aggressive asshole. How much more embarrassing could it be?
Mm-hmm.
I had to
Mm-hmm.
stop selling your book because it got to be too much. If Eketchi was smart, he would have came on here and he would have at least tried to be friends with her.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then,
Do you know how Eketchi could have just like spun this so well if he
yeah,
came on here and was on his best behavior? He could start his little podcast. Like Eketchi could have done this. He could have played this so well and still not had to be with MM at all.
he could have been selling that book. Letters to My Wife. $9.99 for the paperback. $12.99 for the hard copy. $99 for the Kindle. For $24.99, he will come call you an asshole to your face.
No
For
thanks.
extra $2, he'll wear the jean jacket. He could have really did some things, but he
He
chose
could.
not to. He chose not to.
He could have. Yeah.
I
I,
think
I feel like
no,
I
go
feel
ahead.
like he could, if he came in and even if he wasn't attracted to MM, even if they didn't get along, him being a counselor, even if it's with children, he should have, I don't know, some type of experience in de-escalating situations and trying to understand people, stuff like that. I feel like he should have still been able to, and MM gets spicy too. We will talk about that as
Yes,
well.
yes, we
But I
will.
feel like he could have been able to navigate. I feel like Akechi's main goal was to sell his book, right? And if that was his goal, he should have finessed this situation. He should have been a gentleman to MM. Even if he killed her with kindness, right? And just let MM do the walling out, he still would have came out on top. That would have been even better for him because then he would have had sympathy, right? Then women would be buying his book, women would be going to his conferences, they'd be listening to his podcast. Everyone would have a copy of he could have really made a name for himself, a good name for himself, and just catapulted his entire career if he played this right. But his ego, his pride, he just couldn't do it. He
Yes,
just
the
couldn't do it.
country can thank Wisconsin. we did what we were supposed to do today.
Oh, y'all did?
We didn't
Congratulations.
in November, but today we did what we were
They like, we learned a lesson. We've
supposed
been
to.
learning.
We're purple, y'all. We're purple. But yeah, I think Ikechi could have really sold it, right? Because
Mhm.
think about the way that you could have gone from on this show, right? To now you have a podcast called Letters to My Wife. You go get a bunch of other fuck niggas and y'all all come together and you interview them one by one and you act as if you're some type of life coach or something. You could have spun this. But you chose to come on here and call a brown skinned black woman aggressive. All because you, as a quote unquote college educated person that leads the youth, didn't understand the difference between assertive and aggressive. You know why? Because words mean things. Words mean
Yeah.
things. By no means by Emin being super driven and being, what is she, a nurse practitioner or something, owning her own med
Mhm.
spa, how does that equate to her being aggressive?
Aggressive.
That doesn't
Right.
even make sense. There are so
And then
many
he
other
said
adjectives he could have used.
right. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
he
And then he
he
said he meant go-getter. I'm like, how do you confuse go-getter and aggressive? That is not the same thing
just
at
stupid.
all.
Stupid. I bet he knows what stupid means. I bet he I bet he knows what that means. So not, I mean, there's not really much on the catcher. We know he showed up like the fool that he is with the one page of the paper, the divorce
Yeah, go ahead.
decree. He
Yes.
was too embarrassed to just be like, again, men are dumb because think on your feet. Think on your feet. He could have been like, "Oh, damn, yeah, I left the other 3 pages, but just sign this one." It's not.
Mhm.
No, it's not there. You know, it's not
Right.
there though. You knew it wasn't there when you got in the car and you looked over and you checked the front seat, okay? And you opened that photo to double check and you saw there was one page in there and you still continued to drive.
He stole one of them kids' folders from his school to put that one sheet of paper in there. And I know he was so pissed when he got there and his plan didn't go the way that he thought it would go. And he ended
Mm.
up looking so. I know he was. I would be mad if I was him. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, no, that's not how it was supposed to happen. I would be pissed. So I know he was pissed. He wanted to embarrass her and it didn't work. And then MM got to be, you know, spicy, like, oh, this is one sheet of paper. Oh, I know that tone because sometimes when you gotta speak to actually, this is supposed to be 3 pieces of paper. It's only one. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
So when you bring the
looking
other two,
and she kept
then
looking
I'll
down
sign
at
it.
it too. She was like,
She was like, yeah, if you had the other two, I would sign it, but you don't, so I can't sign this paper. I know Eketchi was pissed off. I know he was pissed,
then he
and he
was like,
tried to play it off, and he's like,
just sign it.
"Just
Just sign. No,
sign
I'm
it."
not signing
Boy,
nothing.
no. No. And he's like, "Oh, Imma sleep good tonight," and blah, blah, blah. No, I know he was in that bed punching the air when he got home. He was pissed all the way home. He was running red lights. He was cursing. He was mad. He was mad.
Definitely cried the whole way home because you look stupid. You look
So dumb.
stupid.
I think I put on that thumbnail, "You big dummy."
Oh, dumbass. How you bring one page? I just kind of feel like we don't double check things. Like, how many times did you have to go from when you printed it, okay, to when you got it to get in the car, to when you grabbed it? Like, if I'm holding something, I'm checking as I'm driving. I'm at a red light and I'm like, checking. You didn't
Like, "Ooh, I
check.
can't wait to" I know his book missing pages too. That's what I heard.
You just know it is missing whole sentences.
No
So,
proofreading, no nothing.
but Emma wanted to be married so bad, right?
Yes.
Emma just
Yeah.
wanted to be married. She didn't care who it was, plug and play. So then, next thing you know, that's the over. But she said, "Okay, don't even worry about it, because I'm gonna get me a new husband." And here comes Brandon, big headed ass Brandon, head like a rock. He comes in And he's like, yeah, we be. I said,
I hate when
we
he
did
does
this
that.
as children. And it wasn't to emulate sex. Like, I just kind of feel like have some couth about yourself. You're talking to a pastor.
Right.
You're talking
And
to
I
a
don't
man of the
understand,
cloth.
like, Brandon, yes, okay, y'all be doing it. Y'all are grown. It's okay. Like, you don't have to tell us every time we see. It's like, it's so childish to me.
Because
It's so
everybody is
childish.
having sex. We're grown.
Right.
What, what are you excited
We had
about?
some Hennessy and I will say though, because Brandon is so damn thirsty, I do like how Eketchi handled himself at the reunion.
Yeah.
I feel like his mama spoke to him, all the women in his family sat him down and said, "Look, when you go to that reunion, act like you have some damn sense.
Mm-hmm.
Apologize to it. Don't try to blame anyone for anything. Just be extremely apologetic. Don't be confrontational, whatever." So I like how Akechi handled his conversation with at the reunion, and I do like that was able to express how she felt and not break down about it. It shows that, she's kind of, over the situation to some extent. But I really appreciated when they introduced Brandon at the reunion. Why the hell was he there in the first place? I don't know. But I love that Akechi got his ass up and walked off the stage, because
Yep.
what y'all not gonna do, right? What you not gonna do is really playing in his face. And I appreciated that, because we saw what later happened. Was Brandon and MM's plan to say Pastor Cal said yes? Was their plan to get married in front of Akechi on stage? Like, what was that the plan?
I, I think the plan was to try to get underneath Ikechi's skin, but it only works if he
If he
wanted
likes
you, MM.
right. Right.
It doesn't work. He has been trying to get out of this marriage the entire damn time. So you
Yeah.
flaunting in his face this weird ass Nick, this weird ass young man that done popped up out of nowhere and proposed to
Right.
you with a ring that he hadn't even bought.
Right. Well,
That is
first he
still
proposed with no ring.
just
The
off of
first time
vibes.
he had no ring.
Just
Yeah. And then when they went to the jewelry store, he's still behind her like she was paying for it. I said Brandon don't want to pay for anything. He's not trying to pay for no ring or a wedding. Okay. Production maybe helped out with the ring, or paid for the ring because she gives that. And then he wanted to get married on the show so that they wouldn't really have to come out of pocket for the wedding.
and
Now
I'm
I feel like would spend that bread on her wedding, but Brandon does give me the vibe of, oh, we already did it on the show. Let's just go to the courthouse, because that's what he said. He said they can go to the courthouse when it's time for them to get married. Nothing wrong with a courthouse wedding. I'm just saying Brandon doesn't give the vibe of like wanting
is
to
definitely
spend.
gonna pay for that wedding out the
Oh,
ass.
she is.
She is
Oh,
going
for
to
sure.
spend,
Spin. Yep.
and he's gonna show up and look stupid and take her for all she has, including the
He gonna
air
be like,
fryer.
yes. He gonna take that air fryer. Yeah.
Because imagine
Yeah.
doing this at your commitment ceremony. Oh my God.
Hmm.
And but the thing is, she cringes when he talks. She literally like recoils when he says stuff. And it's like, if you don't let him know now that you don't like it, you're gonna have a hard marriage, sis.
Mm-hmm.
If they actually get married, because I don't think this marriage is coming. I think, honestly and truly, I think that is going along with this long enough for the show. I say you give them by, what is it, April? Yikes, April. You give them to like September. I don't think they'll still be together. Because now the cameras are gone. There's no point to keep it going.
The only reason why I wouldn't doubt them still being together is because of how is. And the same way that she wanted to finish this process of the show and see it through, I feel like she would take that same approach with Brandon. I feel like she would. I mean, even though they're not filming, right? If and Brandon break up, everyone is still going to hear about it. That scared the shit out of me. Everyone is still going to hear about it. And she wouldn't want that either, right? And Brandon seems like the type to where if and him break up, oh, Brandon gonna be doing interviews and he gonna be like, he seems like he's one of those people who like want to be seen.
Yeah.
From the couple of times that we've seen him on the show, we're like, okay, this he want to be seen. Like he wants a spot on some type of show. It's very thirsty behavior. And like you said before, does get embarrassed by him.
Mm-hmm.
The way that had to pat Brandon and be like, hey babe, okay, babe, sit down. Like when he had asked Pastor Cal to marry them, and Pastor Cal was looking like, nigga, I don't know you like that. I'm not about to marry y'all. And he didn't even pick up on the he couldn't even read the room to where had to tap him like, hey babe, sit down. I was so embarrassed for both of them. I was like, "Ooh, he don't pick up on social cues." Like he couldn't tell that Pastor Cal was looking at him like he was crazy.
And Dr. Pia
I
looked
was
disgusted.
Everyone was looking like, and he's still standing there like, I want you to marry me today. I want to leave here a husband. Boy, if you don't sit your ass down and shut the hell up. I
Find
hated
some
that. I hated every
business.
moment of it. Yeah, I
Find
hated
some
every moment of
business.
it.
Some. Tuck your shame in. Have you no shame? That's the crazy part. But yeah, so like I said, I don't wish anyone bad, but
No.
good luck.
Yeah, I think that and someone had said this in my comments too, because I was irritated with because I was like, girl, why are you so green? Like, why are you not picking up that this guy is just a smooth talker, whatever, whatever. And she said that she relates to because she's like in the sense that she didn't really date, right? She was in school, she was in them books, and she didn't really start dating until late 20s, early 30s, right? So the things that women who have dated before earlier in the game have went through and can now pick up on, this is like new to and she said that that's how she also entered into the dating world too, even when she was in
Mm.
her 30s, and there were certain things that she didn't pick up on. So I can understand that, right? And with that, that's how I want to give grace. Honestly, we give everyone grace on these shows. Okay, we're all learning. We're all on this journey called life, right? We all
Wait,
can look back. We
but
all can. We Wait, hold on. We all can look back at decisions that we have made and know
yeah.
that, okay, if we could do things differently, we would have done things differently,
Mhm.
right? So okay, sprinkle some. Okay, everyone get a little grace seasoning, okay? But I feel like um I can understand that in situation, and you just see how badly she wants to be married, and I feel like Brandon obviously knew that, and he latched onto that, and he's just saying all the right things. I really did not like when he said that their fathers are up in heaven and put them together. I did not like that shit at all. I felt like it was manipulative as
Yeah.
hell. And even Pastor Cal picked up on it. And that's why he was like, how do you know that this isn't a trauma bond? And he's like, well, it's not, because we love being with each other. Pastor Cal was like, okay, that can still be a trauma bond. And swooped in and like saved the day, kind of. But it was still, it just showed, to me, it showed like how manipulative he is and how he's like playing on her vulnerabilities and her insecurities. And I didn't like him from before, but when he said that, I was like, ooh, you mm, I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all.
Did say she didn't date though?
I don't think she said that.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think she said that.
I was gonna say, did
I
I
don't
miss that?
know.
I don't remember. It would make sense, but I think we can see how manipulative he is from
Oh,
him proposing at the sketch restaurant. There was literally no
right.
reason for you to propose there. And then he made sure to do it in front of the cameras. I would respect this, whatever it is, this engagement more if it wouldn't have happened on camera. If Emmett would have
Mm-hmm.
just popped up at the reunion and been like, I'm engaged, and
Right.
we'd have been like, to who? Oh, to the guy I had the date with? Oh, okay. But he
Mm-hmm.
wanted he wanted it to be on camera.
On camera. Yeah.
That's the
He did.
thing. And it's like somebody put in the comments, he has been a husband before.
Mhm.
I think you said in your recap when he was like, I want to be the best father I can be. You're a father now.
You're already a father. He was speaking like he was like, "Oh, that's why I wanna be the best father." And I feel like there's a way to he's speaking like he doesn't have 2 children. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the way that and I'm sure he loves his kids, but remember, this is the same guy who said he don't got any light in his life. Nothing, right? When he was speaking to Carla and Camille when they were sitting on MM's
Yeah.
couch, he was like, I was down. Play the music. Let me get the music, okay? I was I was down and out on my luck, you know. I was in the right car, but I was driving down the wrong street.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the right staircase, but I was in the wrong building. What the hell are you talking about? This is the answer to his question when asked him what went wrong in his relationship, and all he was doing was giving her a bunch of riddles. And then the fact that he said he had no light in his life before he met when he already has 2 kids. I know them kids was watching the episode like, oh well, oh, okay. That's good
and
to know. Thanks, Dad.
and Carla clocked that right away. Carla was like,
Yeah.
and
Like no
Camilo
light?
bird ass was like, but he fine. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not.
No.
Camille, you
Mm-mm.
think he
Did
looks
he have
better than
Jordans on?
Tom?
He must have had Jordans on. That's
He
why
has some
Camille didn't know
Jordans
what the
on.
hell
She
she
saw
was
that
talking about.
earring and just
She
swooned.
said, "Oh, he come with an earring. I don't gotta buy one. Oh yes, this one come with an earring, girl. Mm-mm.
Comes with an
No." And
earring.
then
Like,
and when he was saying that, when he was telling Pastor Cal, yeah, I want to be. That's why I want to be the best father. I feel like if he was if he was already felt like he was a good father, he would have phrased that very differently, right? It would have been, that's why every day I make sure I'm a great father to my kids, and I can't wait to be a great father to the kid that and I create, right? That's not how he phrased it. He said, that's
no.
why I want to be a great father, as if it's a goal that he is striving towards, you know?
Like a
So, and I wonder how his
weirdo.
kids are. Yeah, there's so many questions. I mean, says that she's cool with the kids and stuff, and they have a great relationship. I don't know. I mean, what else would she say? But uh I don't know. I wish the best because I feel like has good intentions. She just she wants love, and clearly I don't know. I wish her the best. I don't know what else to do but wish her the best. But Brandon, he
Absolutely.
just gives hella red flags. Like hella
All
red
of them.
flags.
They just bouncing off her forehead and she just letting them hit her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just going for it. So, well,
Yeah.
anything else with the lovely couple?
No, I'm good on them, child. Do you have a favorite couple of us? There is no.
No.
Yeah. Do
I'll
you have
say
a
my
favorite person? I have a
favorite
favorite
person
person.
I'll say is Carla. I think
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
Carla because Carla recognized that Juan didn't like her like that.
Mhm.
She didn't force it. She didn't do anything, like she didn't cry about it. She accepted it
Right.
and then adjusted herself and moved forward.
Yep. Yep.
Everything,
And you can.
everybody ain't for everybody.
Mhm. And she told Alan that too when he had that blow up. She was like, because Alan was saying, "Oh, why didn't she just break up with me?" And Carla was like, "No, no, no, no. You could have broken up with her too. Like you could. That's the power is you also have the power to end a situation or to move accordingly to a situation when you see,
Mhm.
because remember Alan was like, I knew she didn't like me, I knew she didn't want me, and blah 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 blah. Why didn't she just break up with me? And Carla kind of had to reel him in and say, you had power in that situation as well. And that's exactly what we saw her do with Juan. She's like, all right, cool, like we ain't gonna be in nothing. Let's do our little tantric yoga. Let's have Miss Diane wear her no panties come
Mm.
through and just make it do what it do. Just make it do what it do. That's what she did. I like that too.
I should have did a scene for Miss Diane because the way that she crashed out on She was on Facebook giving it to Lifetime because how dare y'all? Miss Diane, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let you live. You were inappropriately dressed. And I believe if it's true that she did not come with panties on, that's inappropriate behavior.
Miss Diane ain't got no panties on.
She was so inappropriate. No, ma'am. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. Thanks for the super chat, Monique.
Thank you, Monique.
Oh yes, yeah, thank you. Like the Lord, why y'all didn't tell me y'all couldn't see it? Y'all was just gonna let it stay up there, huh? Make sure you guys are thumbsing up the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to Roxiie.
Yes, thank you. And any of my subbies who are over here and you're not subscribed to Tammy Talks, subscribe to Tammy Talks as well. Thank
Appreciate you.
y'all.
Oh my God, excuse me. That the lights are killing me. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have for the show. Did you have anything else about Married at First Sight?
No. About Married at First Sight, no, I enjoyed this season. Thank you all so much for letting me review it with you all. Whoever came through and saw my video and you decided to click on it and give me a chance to entertain you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for welcoming me to the Married at First Sight review circle.
Woo!
Or whatever. Yay. Oh, hold on. Yes. Oh, hold on.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. See, I should have had some like disco music.
You're right. You should have.
Party noise.
You should.
Uh,
It's fine.
that wasn't it.
It's fine. Period.
Damn. I'm not quick on my feet with them.
Yeah.
So, before you guys leave, Roxiie, what other shows are you recapping?
Right now I'm reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta. What else am I recapping? I'm doing Temptation Island. I have to catch up. I'm finishing Temptation Island this week. Those videos will be out this week. And then I might review some other stuff. So, but right now for sure, RHOA. What is wrong with Brit? Like, don't get me started on Brit, that crazy ass girl. Do not get me started on Brit. Anyway. That and Temptation Island, and stay tuned because I'll be reviewing more stuff as well.
More stuff. So. Yes. So if you guys are watching me because you watched Atlanta, go watch Roxie's videos. Subscribe to the channel. I'm doing really nothing right now. I'm gonna find something to put on the channel. We'll do something. We'll do something. Yes. All right. Have a good night. Go Wisconsin.
All right, y'all. Bye.